Hey everybody, welcome to the show.
How's it going?
This is episode
77?
77.
77.
Yeah. So this is going to be a fun episode. We have a ton of gear to show. We also have some product news that we're going to share.
Right.
And we have some plans for events that we're going to be at. So as always, we are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. I'm George.
And I'm Matt. If you guys have any questions throughout the show, feel free to drop them. Drop your comments on YouTube or on Facebook. We'll be monitoring that and taking a look.
Yeah. So I have a ton of gear here, just hiding right in the wings here that I'm going to pull out in a minute and show you. But before I do that, let's get to a little bit of product news.
Are we talking about this?
Sure. Let's try out our new overhead cam.
Here, let's do that,
Point up. Here we go. So one of the things we have going on is our mighty Webcaster X2. We have opened up the API so that people like Switchboard can build into the API for Webcaster, right?
Right.
Or using the API.
Yes.
And we can, you want to throw up the other camera? That's great. So, yes, Switchboard and Blue Frame and Babyflix, and we're going to see where this takes us, but other people can tap into the Webcaster X2 API and allow us to stream to more than Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, right?
Right. Not to be confused with, hey, here's the API, I can make my own application for this device.
You're going to ask for it, and we will tell you that you cannot have the developer API for this. But what it does mean for those of you who do streaming over the Webcaster X2 is you can take advantage of Switchboard and do multi-streaming with it. So they have a service where I can do one stream up to their platform, and from there you can manage your streams and do a little bit of a more professional broadcast. I guess you have better structure over your streams and how you go live. So I haven't really dug into it that much. It's all kind of new to us here. So we will be back here. We're going to have them on the show. They're going to tour us around the platform so you guys can understand what the true benefit of this is.
And of course, when you guys have questions, hopefully they'll be able to answer them for you. Yeah. But yeah, you can always ask us at support, so at info@epiphan.com, or you can even ask your question on the forums. So if you're on our webpage in the top corner, you'll have the Epiphan forums page where you can ask your questions, either in the Webcaster forum or you can stick it in general.
Yeah, so we have some people in chat already. We've got Marta here and Benson and Marco from Frankfurt, which is great. Speaking of Frankfurt, we'll be over there. Not in Frankfurt, I don't believe, but I think we're going to be in Germany at some point. So that's part of what this show, the impetus for this show is that we have a lot of trade shows and events throughout the fall. And we have people in Amsterdam right now, getting set up for IBC, which I think starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
So IBC is like the big AV technology show for broadcast people and video people in Europe, if you don't know. And we're there, so come see us there if you're around. It's kind of like, for American people, you'd know NAB. This would be kind of the European equivalent, am I right?
Right, yeah. No, that sounds about right.
And we have people like Matt is going down to...
I'll be in Denver, Colorado, at the end of October for EDUCAUSE. We also have trade shows that are happening, I believe, in Sweden?
We have stuff happening in Sweden, so that's where I'll be going to Sweden in a couple of weeks, and we have other stuff happening in Germany and then New York, so we're going to be all over the place. But every time we go to these places...
Can I jump into your luggage? Sweden?
I'm not... You can come in... Well, no, you can't. You'll see why.
Oh.
Because I have all this gear to take. Sorry. But I will be meeting other George over in Sweden, and we are going to make some videos together. So what this means is I need to figure out how to make a nice mobile live streaming kit. So it's not just for live streaming. I'll also do some just great looking art shots if I can that we can use throughout all of our stuff. And so I thought, let's give you a little tour of all the equipment we're going to bring.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
For those of you guys who are actually interested in knowing, we basically just have a GoPro camera that's basically sitting above us now. This is going to give you a nice little overhead shot as we're giving you an analysis of the gear that we're using. Obviously, we don't have a camera to show you the rig itself, but it's definitely a really fun little new addition that we have here. Yeah,
because we had so much gear to show today, we thought overhead camera, today's the day. I just put up this comment here, hello from Florida. We have all these people saying hello from Baton Rouge. We have SMJ, Exponential Growth Partners Incorporated. Catchiest name yet. The Ambit Gift, Steve Stern and Rod Bourne, Mansell, all these great people in the chat. So
hey guys.
Say hi in the chat. We'll answer any questions you have about the gear. So, what do you want to see first? Where should we start?
Well, I'm an audio guy. Do you have anything audio related?
Yes.
Can I see the audio stuff?
No, let's do cameras first.
Okay, yeah. Don't ask me if you've got a solution.
Okay, so the camera we're going to bring to do, this is like fit in my backpack, mobile streaming stuff that I need to get through security with and not get flagged as a professional who's trying to make money in your country. So the camera we have here is the, here, I'll even pop the lens off. So
that's the Sony one, right?
This is the Sony A6300. It is an E-mount, so it's an APS-C sized sensor. So your, standard SLR really, well, mirrorless.
We say, yeah, mirrorless, 4K.
Mirrorless 4K, and it's super capable. In fact, we use it for this live show quite often because it has a beautiful image. And if you can navigate through the horrible Sony menu system, you can make great video with it. So that's what my task is, and if I can figure out how to line up the dots on this lens.
He's the video guy.
I know, no kidding. So we'll take this, because it's really compact. In other shows, we've often brought our C100, which is what we're shooting with today.
Right, yes.
Fantastic camera.
Big camera, though.
Big camera. And I don't like to have to bring a lot of stuff, so this is the goal here. We're going to try and get small and tight.
And you guys will be able to see how successful or unsuccessful this gear is and give you an idea of how mobile and how compact you can make your gear on the go.
Yeah, exactly. So the lens that we're looking at here, well, actually, I'll tell you one more thing about this camera, which I really like. So I like to jump between 4K shooting and 120 frame per second 1080 shooting. So what I've done is I set up the memory recalls on this camera, which is a really cool feature. So I've got these little 2 and the 1 on the settings here. So basically, when I dial from 1 to 2, so I've set, you can set up any configuration you want on your camera, and then just store it in the memory of 1, and then you do the same thing for 2 and store it. So what I've stored is a 4K 30 on 1. Okay, you with me? Memory recalls 1 is 4K 30, and memory recall 2 is 120 frame per second 1080.
Cool.
So Lisa, we can bring up the other cam there, and it just means when we're working on the go, you can switch quickly and get whatever you need. I also use a Cine picture profile in here. I don't shoot log on this. I find it's just, I've never been able to get used to having to. If you're a film buff and you know shooting with log, you have this overexposed picture that's hard to really evaluate. So I don't like shooting log very much. Maybe I just haven't figured out how to do it well, but my goal is to shoot all Cine on this. So we can get beautiful images out of this. Now, I'm just looking at the comments here. That's why I'm getting distracted. Lots of people saying hi. That's great. So then in terms of lenses.
Yeah, because as you know, I know nothing about lenses, but I know they're important.
Perfect. So I have 2 lenses, which you're going to not like at all, because you're going to say, they're not zoom lenses, George. Why not? So what we have is a 50mm 1.8 aperture lens, so I can get a beautiful narrow depth of field focus with this thing, a giant ugly lens hood. And this is what we usually shoot the show with. So it's a really, really beautiful lens.
So can you explain to me why you wouldn't want something with a zoom on it?
I would love to have something with a zoom on it. The trouble is that zoom lenses are never going to give you as nice a picture, as nice an image quality as a prime lens.
Okay.
So a prime lens, basically, this shoots at 50mm and no more. There's no zooming in and out with it. So most people would find that really irritating, but when you see the image quality that comes out of it, you realize it's a choice you make. So what I'll be doing is switching from this 50mm 1.8 to this 16mm Sigma Art 1.4 lens. So this is your total, again, it's just another lens that's going to take a beautiful picture. And what I can do with this lens is get more of a sort of a vlogger style setup. So if we want to do some out on the street,
right,
handheld, we've got the camera up looking at our mugs like this, and we want that kind of stuff, this is going to be great for that. So I'm excited to use this. This is a brand new lens. We haven't used it really for anything yet. We'll also use it for some of the photography that we do at these shows.
Now, I probably wouldn't recommend using a selfie stick with that kind of camera, especially with that lens like that. That's going to be a very expensive
I do have a solution for that, though.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm all ears.
Great. So we've got our 2 lenses, our camera. What else do you want to see, Matt?
Well, I'm going to say audio, but you're not going to give me audio, so give me whatever.
Guess what? I'm going to give you audio.
Yes! Okay, what's next? What's next?
So we have a really poor mechanism for bringing in audio. We basically have a little 3.5mm, which we could bring in some kind of mic into, and that's okay. but I wanted complete flexibility so we could bring in XLR inputs.
Right.
So if I want to bring in a little lavalier like this kit, which I might bring with us, try to figure that out.
These are great. I like these because we have both a wired and a non-wired version. Obviously, this is the wireless version.
Yeah.
So for the guys, those of you that don't know, this would essentially clip on near the camera. This would clip onto your belt.
Exactly. We use it all the time. It's super helpful. But in other cases, we just want an overhead mic. So I have this little huge, sorry,
It's a little huge, perfect.
noisy zipper.
Ooh.
Sure, put that in the way. So this is a Sony XLR2KM or something like that.
I mean, your guess is as good as mine now. Oh, I see.
Okay.
It has two XLR inputs on the front, and it has all of your.
So basically,
audio
it allows us to bring in XLR inputs into this camera. So we slot it in here, right into the hot shoe of the camera, which is brilliant. I've got no other cables we need to bring in or anything like that. And then we can throw this dead cat into the mic holder, and we're good to go.
Cool.
For the overhead.
Now, I just want to see if we can give that a little bit of a view. So I don't know if you guys can see that on the side
You
here.
can go right up to it, probably. I don't
Looks
know
like
how our focus is going to do.
focus is looking a
Hold
little.
this
That's just going to be yeah. So you guys may or may not you'll be able to see the input gain control. So be able to control what sort of how hot your signal is going to be coming in. So how sensitive it's going to be. So if you're obviously in a very noisy environment, you probably will have to adjust and compensate for that. It looks like up here there is a little bit of a boost as well, and you can switch between either a line or a microphone.
And phantom power.
And phantom power, which I assume this microphone in this case would be using. Looks like a small little condenser type.
Yeah.
So this one gives you a blend of channel 1 and 2, or just a single channel input. Looks really cool.
Yeah, I looked at this piece of gear, and basically it allows us to bring in any kind of audio source, no matter what, and have complete control over it. So it was perfect. So that's our audio solution.
Very cool.
This mic, that lav, we'll figure out the rest when we get there. I think there might be another handheld mic floating around in somebody else's suitcase that we might use as well.
I wonder if the one we still use at Infocom, just the little handheld one, almost
Yeah.
Bob Barker looking one.
We have a really Bob Barker, really ugly, beaten up mic that we sent to Europe the other day. So we might grab that too.
If you guys don't know who Bob Barker is, welcome to the show. You have a lot to learn. Okay, so we talked about a little bit about video and audio. What about like tripods or mounts or something to make your give you better stability?
So I would love to be able to just shoot this handheld for a lot of this stuff. For live streaming, that's pretty annoying because you can just be standing there forever. So, but even for other stuff, I do like to do a bit of handheld work like that.
Right.
But trying to do handheld with a small camera like this, it just doesn't work. You're going to be shaking all over the place. Even with a little bit of a cage, I don't like it. It's not heavy enough to do that with.
Right.
So for that, we have a Zion. How do I say this? Anybody know how to say this properly? Please let me know. It's not a Ronin, I can tell you that. It's a Zion crane. Zion.
Cool.
There we
And
go.
is that
There, we can see the little brand there. Zion crane.
so? Is that one like a
This is a gimbal.
gyroscopic little gimbal there?
Yeah.
Very
So
cool.
we'll do a really quick and dirty hack here where we throw it up on this. We'll mount it and see how centered it is when we do it.
The answer is probably not.
Probably not,
I mean,
but we can show you the principle of it.
I've never used one of these, so this is pretty cool for me.
Yeah, they're a really cool tool. Oh, that'll work, okay. So then, there we go.
Oh, that is so cool.
So we can do our moves with it, and it'll always stay beautifully balanced and do all this lovely work. And there's a few different modes. We were just experimenting with it today. So
Do you ever
it
find
allows you to have a small camera like this and be able to do nice cinematography with it. I can run down the street and follow you on your motorcycle.
my motorcycle? Well, I don't know if you'd be able to keep up with the motorcycle, but
That's a very good point.
in terms of stabilization, do you find that like as an after, do you find there's still a little bit of shake that you need to deal with or adjust, or is it usually really stable?
It's buttery smooth.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
The only place I don't think I would really want to try and do it is if we were doing this. If I wanted a steady shot, I'm worried it's going to be vibrating, just trying to get its bearings.
Oh,
So if you're
interesting.
the one shot I wouldn't recommend it for is a shot where you don't want movement.
So
Ironically.
anything
So
stagnant.
if you're moving, you're going to be good. And you can do stuff to have it point down like that, depending which mode you're in. You also have a little control on here, so I think I can, I can control, I have a little thumb joystick back here by my thumb.
Very cool.
And I can do panning with it, depending which mode I have it set up in. Yeah, there we go. So this one, I'm hoping that we can do. George, Herbert, and I are going to frolic through the streets of Stockholm and have a great time.
Meanwhile, I'll be the one that's crying at my desk because you didn't let me squeeze into your luggage.
You get to go to Denver. And
it's true. I got to be in the Mile High City. I can bring that?
If you figure out how to use it.
I won't. I'll try, but I won't. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comments. We're happy to go over anything. If you guys need a little bit of a closer-up of seeing any of this gear and equipment, now's the time. We've got the overhead. Yeah,
that's right. So that's our gimbal, our camera, our lenses, our audio. We also have a small tripod. So this is your run-of-the-mill. Well, it's run-of-the-mill, except it's carbon fiber, so it's a bit lighter, and it has a very small head on it. So it's not very capable. I can't do a whole lot with this tripod, but if I need to set a camera up on a tripod and point it at two people, it's going to work. And with a small camera setup like this, I think it's going to work great. So
very cool.
And one thing I like about this, which I didn't realize, you see that on the bottom, that little hook?
Yeah.
So that would allow us to throw a sandbag or our backpack, whatever we've got, basically. I'm not sure how to get
as a weight.
Out. As a weight. How does that work? Huh. Oh yeah, it's a little bit sticky. That's all. Yeah, so I could throw a weight on this, and then I'll have a lot more better stability. So even if it's just my backpack,
right,
or whatever I've got, for some reason it doesn't want to pull out when I hold it in. But
I don't know. I think it just needs the proper weight. Or maybe it has to be slightly in. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Guys, if you know this better than we do, please let us know.
Yeah, so this particular brand is a Comax. I know nothing about, sorry, Coman. Coman.
Just think Conan, but not.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah, so there's a lot of other brands. We looked at the Manfrotto, we looked at a bunch of them, and I honestly wasn't sure which one to get. So, the other thing that I like about this is you can set it up as a monopod as well.
Oh, very cool. So you can just unscrew
How does that
one
work?
or two.
Oh, no. I can just take this one off and use this by itself as a little monopod.
Oh, cool. And then just, take the...
I just take the head off this or something like that. Again, I haven't quite figured that part out. So
now, so I know that you do this for shoots. Are you going to be doing live streaming? And if so, are you guys going to be utilizing something like Webcaster with like a battery pack?
Well, I'm hopeful we don't have to use battery packs for this stuff.
Okay.
But we totally can, and I might throw a few batteries in my bag, but we'll be tethered in hotels and facilities where we should have power. So
right.
My fingers crossed, we don't have to get into the battery packs, because that means don't have to carry 3 pounds of other batteries. Like, my suitcase is going to be filled with batteries, because this camera has a couple of batteries. We've got batteries for this thing, batteries for the lav, no batteries for the audio. So we're kind of swimming in batteries, and I'm pretty sure airplanes don't love big bags full of batteries coming on board, right? Yeah,
you're going to have to put that in checked luggage, I'm guessing.
I really don't want to do that.
I know.
Anyway, so, yeah, when we want to stream, so we've got all our cameras set up. When we want to do live streams, we're going to bring our Webcaster X2. I might try and use Switchboard for the first time, if I can figure that out, which would allow us to do a multi-stream to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. And that's about it.
Now, do you know if Switchboard also for restream purposes will allow to do more than just like Facebook and YouTube, or is it just specifically those?
Yeah, just a whole bunch. There's a whole
okay.
bunch. There's like a list of a dozen places that allow you to stream to. Okay. Maybe not a dozen, a bunch.
More than 2.
More than 2, yeah. Like the big ones, really.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, that's really all we need to do for our streaming setup. And like you said, if we wanted to bring batteries, we can do that. I might bring a little monitor too, so I can do setup of this as well.
Yeah.
And a little keyboard.
Yeah, we've seen some of those. Guys, if you guys are ever curious to know about what kind of gear we use, we also post in our forums an accessory list you can utilize with Webcaster. This includes monitors, USB power banks, adapting cables for USB to power, compatible cameras. We've got a full list for that as well. So if you guys have any questions or you're curious to know what you can possibly utilize for Webcaster on the go or just for a more professional setup, you'll find all that information there.
And we'll put the link to all of this gear in our YouTube description on this page. And send us what gear you think we should be using, because this is my crack at all of this, but I'm pretty sure there's other gear in the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Now, if there's some of you out there that are watching this show that happen to be using the Zoom Q8,
yeah,
I would love to see some live shots and hear some of that audio. I've not had the chance to personally use a Q8, but I know it does work. But I'd be curious to see and hear what the overall quality is like.
Yeah, that would be a nice video or a nice camera to bring for doing all this as well.
Especially if you're using a more compact setup.
Because even the kind of kit that we've got set up here, it's great for people who are into cinematography, but it's not like a super just plug and play, turn it on and go stuff. So I realize that. I do have one other piece of gear, which I should grab. Actually, there's two others. This is my variable ND filter. So, in fact, if I turn it, we might even be able to see it work. So the object here is, I've got this beautiful lens that can shoot 1.4 aperture, which lets in a ton of light, but sometimes that's too much light to get a great shot.
Right.
So I can throw this ND filter, which will darken the light coming into my lens.
Oh, interesting.
And let me shoot at a beautiful 1.4 aperture, even in a bright sunny day. Because for video, you also want to try and get the right shutter speed as well. You don't just want that to be dictated by the amount of light you've got coming into your camera. Anyway, I could nerd out on this for a while.
You can nerd out as all you want. It's just going to go,
yeah. So I will resist. But yeah, one other important piece of our kit. And then I have this. So
we have a
can
bag.
you help me make a little room here?
Yeah, I guess I can do that. I'm going to move all this out of line of sight. That terrifies me. I'm going to stop doing that.
This is the bag that I've been dreaming of. Well, maybe not that I've been dreaming about, but
I have
every
questions.
time we go to a trade show, I end up carting around my luggage and a bunch of camera gear. So I have my undershirts and my lenses and my work shirts and my shoes and my cameras and tripods all in this big mishmash.
Right.
And it's a mess, and I really don't like it. So I said, okay, forget it. This year, I'm going to get the bag. So we have this, I don't know how to say this, Neewer, Neewer bag. And it's, this is the best part. It's fluorescent green inside.
Oh, it's Epiphan green.
Yeah.
Almost.
I'm not quite sure what that is. But what I like about it is I can fit all my gear in here, like put every little lens and drop them in. I'm going to be set. I'll even stuff a few clothes in here to make the most of it. But then, this is also what I like. I can do, I think I can get my laptop in here, shut that. So I have my rollies on the bottom, my nice rolly wheels. I have the handle, but I can also go backpack straps.
Ooh, that's very cool.
So I'm really pumped about having this, and so I can finally, hey, where'd Matt go? Properly go to a show.
Now, I'm willing to wager any money that you're never going to use the backpack straps.
Really?
Because you're going to be lazy. You're going to be like, well, I don't want to have to carry this. It's heavy.
I hope I never have to use the backpack straps. But it's like when you're crossing the 4 lanes of traffic to get to the bus stop across the other side, and there's big humpy stuff, and you don't want to have to roll. When I'm running.
Right, yeah.
There are occasions where it comes up. And when the wheels break, which will inevitably happen.
You can also just get really good at carrying really heavy water jugs in each hand. And at that point, when it breaks, you don't have to wear the backpack straps and just hurl and run across as fast as humanly possible.
I'm not sure what's in this little baggie.
Is that like a protective water case, maybe?
Oh, so I can go out in the rain. Yay.
More protection.
Yeah, Amsterdam.
Yeah.
So that's about it for all of our gear here today.
Very cool.
But we do have some other news. We have a contest coming up where you can win a Webcaster. You don't know about this.
I don't know about this.
We're also going to give away, we've teamed up with our friends at Switchboard and give away a year of free service for Switchboard.
Ooh, very cool.
So keep your eye on our social posts as we'll be posting this contest soon. It's going to be one of these contests where we'll ask you to enter. You have to like the post or subscribe to our channel or send us an email, that kind of stuff. So it's a great way to get a free Webcaster and a free year of Switchboard service.
And if you guys have an uncommon use case that you're using with Webcaster or that you're proposing to use with Webcaster, we want to hear about it too.
Yeah. I haven't seen a whole lot of chat here. Maybe I'm just missing it, but I appreciate everybody for watching the show. It's nice to get the interaction on the chat. We'll be here again next week on Thursday.
Thursday, 3 p.m.
Oh, no, wait. The show will be here on Thursday, but we will be doing it from Palo Alto. So we have a very special show lined up where we're going to be out on the road. So stay tuned. I think that's about it.
That's it. So if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment thread, or you can send us an email at info@epiphan.com, or if you've got any other things you want to contribute for Epiphan forums, feel free to drop into epiphan.com and click at the top corner for the forums page.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
And until next week.